In this last part of the tutorials, I'm going to talk about the painting process. As from the previous video you can see, I have glued the gemstones on and I also corrected the cracks as much as I could. As you can see, there was a big crack in the middle of that, but I managed to make it almost invisible with a little bit of glue and clay. And also some of the legs were detached from the body, so I corrected that too. Now let me show you what paint I use. I'm gonna use a few colors from this watercolor palette. I'm gonna use some of these brushes. I always prepare quite a few to choose from. This homemade deep purple color chalky effect paint. I'm gonna need some water. This antique gold color acrylic paint. I use some wet wipes and Q-tips to remove the paint. And some varnish to seal everything. This is going to be the first time I'm actually using watercolor on clay. I had to find a solution to paint around the edges, as when the first time I've done it, I got paint around the glass part and it was a nightmare to remove it. So I am using brown and grey mix. The clay absorbs the watercolor very quick and this process might look a little bit tedious, but it is to remove all the white parts around the edges and it doesn't stick to the glass like the first layer I've done before. This is how it looks like when the watercolor is actually dried. The edges are much more crisp now and there is barely any paint to remove from the glass. If there's anything, I just get a Q-tip and wet it a little bit and just wipe away any paint. This is how the top looks like with the same color on it. I'm going to use this purple paint color, also being careful around the edges with it, and for the first layer it's better if it's diluted with water a little bit. So now I went around the edges, I can paint the whole body with it. The bottom part will need at least 2 layers of paint. Let's paint the top as well. This is how it looks like when the paint is all dried. So the next color is watercolor again. It might look messy, but when the paint is dry, it will give this magenta patina effect. The main goal is to get as much paint possible into the crevices, so the paint that dries is more vibrant. And I'm gonna paint the body the same way. So this is how it looks like when everything has dried. This is a trust the process moment as it looks very messy. I achieved what I wanted, as you can see, because the color is popping in the details. And the top part, how it looks with the magenta watercolor dried. Now I get a bristle brush, and with a little bit of purple paint, I am dry brushing everything lightly. Now I'm going to add this antique gold effect paint all over, highlighting every detail. I absolutely love how it turned out. The colors are giving this aged vintage carnival vibe. And now all is left to do is to seal everything with the varnish. I use a very thin soft brush and a little amount of varnish because I don't want the varnish to build up in the crevices. There was barely any sunlight left to show you the final result, but I'll be posting pictures the next day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this series.